Hello everyone, this is Satvik back again with a new video, and in this video we're going to discuss about Wi-Fi pen testing using a manual way. Without getting any delay, let's dive into the video. So guys, in the previous video I had discussed about the Wi-Fi pen testing process as well as performing all those things using an automated script or automated framework, right? And I had good response to that, and I got many suggestions saying that also mention the manual way. So this video is all regarding that. And before processing to the video or before continuing to the video, make sure you understood all the process of the Wi-Fi pen testing. So if you don't know that, do check out my previous video which is on Wi-Fi pen testing using automated framework or using automation, and come back to this video. So to follow this video, make sure you have your attacking machine. So in my case it is Kali, and make sure you connected your Wi-Fi adapter, which is a cable of monitor mode, to your machine, right? So let's dive. So guys, before continuing, so make sure you check out my previous videos as well, which are of Wi-Fi pen testing, bug bounty, ethical hacking, and everything. I had covered almost all the concepts mostly. So, and if you really like them, make sure to subscribe to my channel and do share with your friends. And if you want any kind of support to solve your doubts, do check out my Discord server. The link is in the description below. And if you want to connect to me personally, do check out my Twitter and LinkedIn. The links are in the description. So so I had already connected my Wi-Fi adapter to my machine. So this is my Kali machine and I'm root over here, so I don't require sudo command. So if you are not root, make sure you add the sudo command. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is, and also guys, I'm going to mention it step by step, so do follow along, and if you require, take notes. It can be helpful for you in the future. So to view all the network interfaces that are connected to your Kali machine or any Linux machine, is simply you can simply do that by typing a command iw config. Very sorry, I'm here. An iw config. So if you type iw config, you can see I had an Ethernet connection, and I also have a LAN 0, so which is nothing but a Wi-Fi adapter in my case here. And you can see it is having some IEEE 802.11 ESSID, and you can see the mode which is of managed mode. But if I had discussed previously, we need to put that in the monitor mode, right? So in order to put this in the monitor mode, we need to make a use of a bunch of tools which comes under Aircrack-ng. So this video is all about the demonstration of Aircrack-ng. So Aircrack-ng is not only a single tool, it comes with a bunch of tools, like whether it can be for enabling the monitor mode, whether it can be for sniffing, whether it can be for deauthentication, whether it can be for cracking. So Aircrack-ng got all the things, all of them covered, right? So if you don't have it, you can simply type you can install it by apt Aircrack-ng. So it is installed in almost all the Linux distributions, or mostly in the hacking Linux distributions. If not, you can simply do that. Okay, so the first thing you need to do in order to enable the monitor mode is to simply type airmon ng start and the interface name, which is LAN 0. Let me hit enter, and you can see the information regarding that, like what is the interface name, the driver, Atheros AR927 chipset, you can see the chipset over here, and it is enabled to the monitor mode. So now you can reconfigure, you can recheck by typing iw config once again, and here you can see that the mode is in the monitor mode, so which means that we can do the Wi-Fi pen testing from now, right? So the first thing you need to do right there is, so in this video guys, I'm going to demonstrate it over my Wi-Fi. Like I created a sample Wi-Fi using my mobile hotspot. You can do that along. And also guys, from now I'm not responsible for any kind of illegal activities that you are going to perform. So these are mostly harmful, and these can get you into the jail. Okay, so if any guy reported this, so make sure you test that on your sample networks and follow along. Okay, so the first thing, so we till now we had enabled our adapter to the monitor mode. Now we will start finding out all the networks that are in the region. So for that you need to do aero-dump ng, and the name is plan 0 mon. Okay, the interface name is plan 0 mon. Let me hit enter for that. And as I told you, if you are not root, make sure you add sudo commands all the time, right? So the network I'm going to concentrate or I'm going to use is test network. So this is my simple network, and we'll test along this. And guys, here you can see the BSSID. It is the MAC address of the particular so every Wi-Fi has a router or an access point, right? For that, the MAC address of that access point is called as BSSID. The power means the beacons. The beacons are sent in order to prove the existence of that particular Wi-Fi. That is saying that I'm able. You can see the channel. This is an important thing you need to see there, and you can see the encryption. So right now there is all WPA2 encryption. Find the cipher used and the authentication, the PSPK. So write PSK authentication. So right now you can see I'm going to show this on WPA2 encryption Wi-Fi's. Okay, and you can find this, and guys, also you can see that. So if you can see, if you can find out the MAC address, okay, which is something, you can see also the BSSID, and that station is nothing but the devices that are connected to it. It is not showing, it's not showing everything, because the region I'm living in is a big region and there are many Wi-Fi's. Okay, so what here you can see is the BSSID, the Wi-Fi network, and the devices that are connected to it, right? So after getting some a good amount of information regarding the Wi-Fi network, so you can simply hit Ctrl C in order to quit this tool, and now we can perform the things, right? So what we need to perform is, so we got the details of all the networks, and our target right now is the test. So the Wi-Fi name is test. So now what we need to do is we need to sniff on that particular network, right? So we need to sniff on that particular network, and we need to capture a handshake. Okay, so what we will be doing is, so I'll keep this open, guys, because, and you can see the command at the bottom of this bottom right. So the reason is we need to have some things like this. We need to have some things like BSSID of our target Wi-Fi, the channel and stuff. So note down the command or follow along. So we need to type arrow. So also, guys, the reason I'm showing you all these things is you can always you can always go for the help menu, but you can see it's a big help menu. The reason and I'll be mentioning the simple options that we'll be using most of the time. Okay, so that you can do the things, right? So what I'll be doing is I'll be opening this in this tab, and I'll open a new tab in my terminal, and we'll run this tool. Okay, so you can see that we're targeting on a test Wi-Fi, and if you want to see more options in the aero-dump ng, so you can simply add an option --help, and you can read them and you can do the things, right? So let's come back. So now we need to sniff on this particular network. So type aero-dump ng, and right now we need to specify the BSSID. Okay, so BSSID can be specified using a option called as D. So let me copy this whole area. Let me paste it over here. Then we need to specify the channel. Channel is like which channel this Wi-Fi is working on, and you can see the channel is 11 over here. I'm going to specify 11. Okay, so till now we had mentioned the BSSID and also the channel where we will be working on, and we need to also specify something like, so whenever we are doing sniffing, we are going to get some various information, like, so whenever you're doing a sniffing, you get some capture some packets, right? So if you want to capture those packets, and if you want to reuse them for the next purposes, so we need to write down all this data into somewhere else, like you can specify that using -w, and I'll be naming it as test. Okay, so I'm writing all these things, all the data that is being collected in the sniffing in a file named as test series. Okay, and then I'm specifying a VLAN 0 mon. Okay, so you can name it anything, guys. I'm naming it as test because it will be like, since we're targeting test, it will be easy for me to understand. So let me hit enter over here. Now it is going to sniff over this particular Wi-Fi network, and you can see recently, if we had seen previously, we got all these networks that are in the region of that are in the area of my Wi-Fi adapter. But now you can see that since we are only looking over this particular thing, you can see the channel over there, you can see the test and stuff like that, right? Okay, we are only focusing on this particular thing. And if you can see here, we got the basic information like this, and also you can see something like you got the device that is connected to this particular Wi-Fi network. So this is the station that got connected, and now what we need to do is we need to wait till this thing got disconnected, and we need to capture. So whenever this tries to connect to the Wi-Fi network, it sends a handshake, like a password packet file. Okay, so you can look that, but we can't wait, right? So what we'll be doing is we'll try to disconnect this particular client. So this is the next step. We're going to disconnect this particular client, and then when it tries to reconnect, we'll get the handshake. So I will open the new tab. So you open this tab, guys, because we are sniffing around this network. So if you are sniffing is like whenever a dog sniffs, it tries to find out information, right? So keep this tab open, keep this process running, and then open a new tab. So I'm hitting Ctrl+Shift+T if you want to know the thing. So we'll be using a tool called as Aircrack-ng. So you can look into the options by --help. Okay, so there are some normal things like if you can see, you can specify the MAC address, access point, and various things. You can also specify how many times it should be deauth. So what this Aircrack-ng does is it sends a deauthentication packets to the target device that you are specifying in that particular network. So it gets disconnected, and then we can do the thing, right? So this is the thing that is going to happen with the Aircrack-ng. So guys, now let's disconnect this particular guy from this network, and let's see what happens. So what I'm going to do is Aircrack-ng, and you need to specify the deauth packets, AUTH. So deauth packets, and you need to specify the number. So there are some numbers, like you can go with 10, 100, anything like that. But if you specify 0, so it is going to have some like unlimited deauth packets, and this is going to harm the system. Like we are going to make some impact on that. So this is not recommended all the time, because this can lead to various kinds of issues, because we are simply doing like a DOS attack, right? And this is not recommended. You can go with 10 or 100 or anything like that. And the next option you need to specify is access points MAC address, so which is this thing in my case. You can see that this is this thing in my case. Then you need to specify the client that you want to disconnect, or if you haven't mentioned, then it is going to disconnect all the clients, and it is going to make a huge impact on pen test process. So I'm going to copy this thing over here, and I'm going to paste this over here, and we need to specify the network interface which we are going to work on. So it is sending a deauth packets over here, and let's see whether we can see anything. You can see we got a WPA handshake. Okay, and what we'll try to do is we'll try to exit this thing. So it is like a DOS attack, guys. So make sure you are really careful while running this tool. So I'll explain this once again if you want. So Aircrack-ng, it tries to deauth the packets. Okay, it tries to deauth the clients, and when the clients try to reconnect to the network, so it is going to capture the handshake. You can see the Wi-Fi WPA handshake is captured, right? So this is like a DOS attack on the client, and this is going to have a huge impact, and this is going to leave some lots of traces in the Wi-Fi network. So I had done some case studies over this, so where I had find out some guys who are doing this kinds of thing, like whenever you take a network logger, it captures everything. So if you try to do this, and this is going to have an impact on you. So we got a WPA handshake, and right now we'll stop this process by hitting Control C, and then we are done. So if you open the location where you had saved the files, you can see some various files like test01 cap, and this is not JS, is not related to test01 cap, test01 CSV net, and various things. You can open this cap file. So this is also like a sniffing, guys. So sniffing attack got also covered. So let's think you're sniffing over a network, and whenever a person uses something unencrypted services, you can see all the passwords. Okay, so you can open Wirecheck and you can do that. Okay, so that's it. And now we'll try to crack the handshake that a particular client had transferred to the Wi-Fi network, right? So what we'll be trying to do is we'll be creating a simple word list file, right? So word list is like anything that consists of some password. So let's have some password. Okay, and also guys, if you want to see if you want to know how to create password word list, I had a detailed video on how to create password word list using some various tools. You can do check that out. I leave it in the cards or in the description. So do check that out, and we'll mention some passwords for the test purpose. As I told you previously, we'll be focusing mostly on random stuff. So I'm saving this and Control X. So now we'll try to do is we'll try to crack this thing, right? So it is simple. So we'll be using something called as Aircrack-ng. Aircrack-ng, and we need to specify the what you call the cap file, or the file that is which consists of the handshake, which is the cap file in our case, and we need to specify the word list. So in my case, it is in the root word list.txt. Let me hit enter, and you can see it captured the handshake. So as I told you, this is a test video, and since I made this on a test network, we got the password that specified the password recently. But if you are working on the test networks, if you are working on some different networks, like some production networks or the networks that are available for the companies, then you can't always find the password. The thing that I can mention, and also this process can be simple up to capturing the handshake, and from then cracking the handshake is not in our hands, right? It is a brute force attack, and we can't always get the password. So can conclude that, okay, I had seen many videos on YouTube while I was studying. There has been anyone haven't mentioned that the Wi-Fi handshake cannot be cracked all the time. So I'm going to mention that Wi-Fi handshake cannot be cracked all the time. Okay, keep that in mind. If the guy is using some strong password like this, if the guy uses the password like this, I made a sample one, so then going to take years for you. Okay, you need to have some big word list, you need to keep on running, you need to have a strong GPU. There are many factors in order to crack a hash, but for this video I had mentioned a simple one, and I shown how the thing works, right? So I hope this is clear, guys, for this video, and I hope you got some information. And one important thing I need to show you is so most of the, if you go to the ifconfig once again, so it is still in the monitor mode, but if you want to make that to the managed mode, you need to do airmon ng top and 01. So now it is going to stop that, and if you type iwconfig once again, you can see it is in the normal mode. You can work fine. I had seen many tutorials saying that like restarting the Wi-Fi or restarting the network manager in the Kali works, but that is not recommended. You can have this tool helping for you. So guys, this is everything regarding how you can do the Wi-Fi pen testing using a automate manual way. So I hope I made it clear, and in the next videos I'll showcase some various things like twin attacks or fake access points or things like that. So stay tuned to my channel, and if you are having any suggestions, I will leave a link for the form in the description below or in the comment box. So you can mention some suggestions, or you can also give me some new ideas so I can cool things. So really thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope really you liked it, and do share with your friends who are really interested in this thing. So thank you guys for watching this video. This is Satvik signing off, and I'll meet you.